Okay, so we're gonna get on the train now. Freaking long ass chapter. Okay, the weather couldn't be more perfect. It's hot, which means the ocean will be warm enough to swim in, but not so much that I'm sweating buckets. I stand near the entrance of the station and place my bag down, looking around for the others. Valkii! Sarah calls out for me. I happily wave at her. Hey! Are the others here yet? No, just us two. I look at the camera bag Sarah is holding. Planning on taking pictures at the beach? She flashes an arrogant smile. Of course, it's an excuse to do some cheesy romantic shots. Kevin comes running towards us in the distance, carrying a large backpack with him. Good morning, everyone, he greets us cheerfully. Did everyone sleep okay? Peachy, Sarah. Peachy, Sarah answers with a big grin. Me? Not really. Didn't get to sleep much. But I might have looked at the picture I took of CAINE when he was asleep in the grocery store that one time, once or 20 times. I may have a problem. Also, I know I need to cut my fringe. Yes, great, I answer him and energetically stretch out my arms in the air, hoping no one can see through my act, which is how I end up elbowing CAINE in the face. Ow, what the fuck, he yelps and staggers backwards. I whirl around, horrified. Oh my god, are you okay? Obviously fucking not. CAINE is holding onto his nose, looking disoriented. I'm so sorry, I didn't realize you were behind me. Is your nose okay? Man, that's some bad luck. CAINE's so short, I didn't even see him approach, Kevin muses out loud. Who you calling short, huh? CAINE argues with him. Sarah's laughing in the background at CAINE's misfortune while I step closer to him. Let me see, I say as I grab his hand, pulling it away from his face. CAINE simply scowls at me, his eyes are almost being covered by the cap he's wearing. I inspect his nose, which seems a little red, but at least it didn't turn into a nosebleed. You don't seem to be bleeding, I sigh in relief. CAINE clicks his tongue at me, then rubs his nose one more time. Is this how you're going to say hello from now on? He asks me sarcastically. I could turn it into a habit if you want. CAINE simply grunts at me, not appreciating my joke. No thanks. Does it hurt still? I ask, concerned. Just my pride, he mutters darkly. Ah, stop moping, you'll bounce back. It's not like she broke your nose or anything, Sarah pipes in. CAINE fixes the cap on his head and glares at her. Let's just catch our train, alright? Kevin tries to diffuse the unfriendly vibe between both of them. Yeah, it should arrive in 10 minutes, so let's get to the right track, I say. Sarah and Kevin start walking ahead of me, and I bend down to grab my bag. Except CAINE quickly picks it up for me, swinging it over his back. He starts walking with the others. I cock my head to the side, raising my eyebrows at him. He's carrying my bag for me. CAINE throws his head back, looking at me with those vibrant eyes of his. You coming or what? I rush up to them, feeling my stomach making flip-flops just because CAINE's carrying my bag for me, and I didn't even ask. How sweet. Oh, was that all there was to the chapter? Okay. This one's longer than Neil's, isn't it? We find a good spot where all four of us can sit together. It's relatively crowded. I'm assuming a lot of people are planning a trip to the beach, as I'm seeing parasols and beach balls. Sarah sits near the window and Kevin takes the spot next to her, causing me and CAINE to sit next to each other. We're off to the beach. How long do we have to sit here? CAINE asks me. The planner said it'll take about 2 hours. Luckily, there are no transfers. It's a direct line to the beach. Of course, first we've got to check in with our cabin, Sarah explains. We're lucky we could even get one, Kevin points out. I nod. There were a lot of cabins that were already taken, but we managed to get one. So who am I sharing a room with? Asks CAINE. Kevin, I reply. Sarah and I are sharing a bed together. Sarah smirks at CAINE. Were you thinking of sharing a bed with Valkii? CAINE immediately looks out the window. No, I wasn't, he denies quickly. He then pulls the cap over his eyes to hide his blushing face. Oh, bless Sarah for teasing CAINE, but it's making my heart race too. By the way, Valkii, I got in, Sarah mentions. Huh? Got in where? CAINE's Fashion Week. Oh, you mean you're now an actual reporter? I ask excitedly. Got a backstage pass, and I can take pictures of the models walking down the runway. This will be so cool. What are you two talking about? Asks Kevin with a gentle smile. He seems curious about it. Right, you might be interested in it as well, Kevin. There's a fashion week in CAINE sometime in August. You can sign up for it and you might win the newcomer prize, I explain. It sounds really cool, but I don't think I can join, sadly. I need to focus on my own project at college. Kevin looks a little disappointed. So you're joining then? He asks. I eagerly nod my head. Yep, though I haven't really figured out what kind of line I'm making yet. Oh no, you only have 2 months left. I wince at the thought. I know, ugh. Well, if you need any help with sewing, I wouldn't mind lending a hand, Kevin offers. Thanks, I'll keep it in mind. All of a sudden, I feel a finger poke my arm. I look to the side and see CAINE pouting at me. I can help too, he mumbles quietly. Custom-made jewelry stuff, you know? A huge grin spreads across my lips. That makes me super happy to hear. Thanks, CAINE, I really appreciate that. CAINE smiles in return, though he tries to hide his face under his cap again. Kevin, however, whines out loud. What about me? I want your work too. CAINE huffs loudly. I offered to help her, not you. I can't hand out free shit all the time. I said I offered payment. CAINE suddenly pulls out his cell phone and connects earphones to it, popping them into his ears to drown out our conversation. How rude. Just leave the grump alone. I'm sure your collection will look fabulous even without his jewelry, Sarah consoles him. Antisocial CAINE continues to stare out the window as he listens to his music. Too bad he doesn't want to try and socialize with Sarah and Kevin, but he may just need some help getting out of his shell again. Just like that time in karaoke, it took a while before he let a little loose. Sarah continues chatting with Kevin about the upcoming fashion week. Unable to prevent myself from stealing a glance at CAINE, I see him resting his head against the glass as the landscape passes us by. I tap his arm to get his attention. CAINE flinches, not expecting someone to bother him. With an annoyed glare, he lowers his eyebrows at me, waiting for me to say something. Can I listen too? I point to his ear. For a moment, he doesn't say a word. I expect him to say to listen to my own music. But then CAINE takes one earbud out of his ear and sits a little closer to me. So close our arms are touching, and I suddenly get a whiff of the shampoo from his hair. It's so fluffy looking, and his eyes are so gorgeous from up close. CAINE's staring at me expectantly, waiting for me to take the earbud already. What? His breath tickles my cheek. Oh god, we're super close. Nothing, I was just thinking about your hair, I say, trying to calm myself down. What's wrong with my hair? He sighs. Don't tell me you want to style it again. Well, it did look rather good on you. CAINE tilts his head away from me, hiding his bashful expression. He grumbles something incoherent under his breath. You gonna listen or not? He asks, annoyed. I finally take the earbud from his fingers and put it into my own ear. A soft melody plays. It's an instrumental piano piece. That was not what I was expecting. My eyes flicker over to CAINE's face. He's still so close to me. Didn't realize you were into instrumental pieces. Something wrong with that? He scoffs as he turns away from me to stare out the window. No, not at all. I like it, I muse out loud. It's a very relaxing piece. The train shakes a little as it passes a corner. My body weight is slowly being pushed against CAINE's arm. He doesn't seem to mind, so I end up leaning against him even though I don't need to anymore. I'm secretly enjoying this. It relaxes me, he murmurs. Can't argue with that. I was pumped for a day at the beach, but this melody wants to soothe me into falling asleep. It helps me focus when I'm working. You mean on your jewelry? CAINE's eyes slowly settle on me again. He nods his head ever so slightly. Got any more songs like these you want to listen to? He seems a little surprised I'm showing interest in his music choice. CAINE moves closer to show me the playlist on his phone. His red hair ends up brushing against my forehead. We're so close like this, it's making my heart race. Another song starts playing, though it's just as soothing as the first. Gathering all my courage, I lean my head against CAINE's shoulder, closing my eyes. The instant my cheek touches him, his body stiffens up. I can feel his eyes burning a hole through my skull, and I'm waiting for him to push me away or say something about it, but CAINE remains silent. And his silent permission makes my heart flutter wildly. Eventually, the rocking of the train and the soft melody playing in my ear lulls me to sleep. A hard turn stirs me from my sleep. That's when I notice some hair tickling my nose. My eyes fly open and I'm wide awake. I sit up straight and realize I've been sleeping against CAINE the entire time. But the redhead himself seems to have dozed off as well. He's slumped against my shoulder, his hair brushing against the side of my face and his lips hovering near my shoulder. You've got a little drool right here. Sarah points to the corner of my mouth with a grin. Quickly, I wipe off any excess drool, embarrassed I fell asleep against CAINE, not to mention I was drooling and nuzzling into his hair. But it's super cute to see that CAINE fell asleep too, and he's using me as a pillow. I don't dare to wake him. Shh, quiet, he's asleep. I narrow my eyes at both Kevin and Sarah. Seems he didn't get enough sleep last night either, Kevin remarks softly. Maybe CAINE was excited about this weekend too, just like me. A smile creeps on my face as I look down at CAINE's slightly parted lips, breathing slowly. So peaceful looking. Closing my eyes again, I fall asleep once more, feeling slightly content. We've arrived at our destination, the cabin we rented. We're here, I shake the keys in my hand excitedly. Kinda small, remarks CAINE as he stands next to me with my bag on his back. As soon as we get off the train, CAINE decided to carry my bag for me again. I'm unsure about why he's being so generous and polite, but I'm not going to question it by opening my mouth, lest he drop the bag and never do it again. You're kinda small, I joke. Sarah giggles behind me. Good one, Valkii, yeah, good one. Takes one to know one, CAINE fires back, then he flicks my forehead with his finger. I think we're the same size, dude. Hey, that hurt, I complain. You can take it, you're so thick-headed. What? No, I'm not. CAINE's hand shoots out towards my head and he messes with my hair with a chuckle. Those steroids aren't good for you, you should quit taking them. I bat away the hand on my head. Obviously I don't take them, I growl at him. Seeing that smug smirk on his face, I can't help but childishly remove the cap from his head. Hey, CAINE yelps. Oh, give it back, I'll burn without it. My back itched for a second. Can we get inside already? Sarah complains, feeling impatient. I dash towards the door with CAINE behind on my heels, wanting his cap back. I giggle loudly as he traps me against the door. I turn around to face him, not realizing he was super close to me. Suddenly his vibrant eyes are staring me down. Mine, he says, his voice deep and raspy. A shiver runs through my bones because... Yep. My breath is taken away as it feels like CAINE is saying those words to me, and that's making my knees buckle. CAINE takes advantage of me being absolutely stunned by removing the cap from my fingers and taking the keys out of my other hand. He pulls back while confidently putting his cap back on. Then, he ignores my wide-eyed stare as he finally unlocks the front door next to me. The inside is just a small common room with a couch, table, and TV. 3 doors lead to what I presume are the 2 bedrooms and bathroom. Other than that, I think it's quite cute. CAINE's already placed our bags down near the couch and sits on the arm. Sarah also drops her bag at the door and plops down onto the couch. Finally, we're here, she says with a deep sigh. Kevin walks straight to one of the bedrooms, inspecting it. Looks pretty clean, he remarks. He then looks back at CAINE. I guess we can take this room, CAINE. CAINE shrugs. Sure. Okay, everyone go to the bathroom while you're at it, because we're going to the beach soon, I say excitedly. Why? Just pee in the... Don't you dare say the ocean, because that's gross and I will smack you, Sarah interrupts him. CAINE, just use the bathroom here, Kevin chuckles nervously. Fine. That's nasty, CAINE, I comment. Pee in the ocean? Come on, we're swimming in it. CAINE groans loudly, then disappears into the bathroom. We can change at the beach, right? Asks Sarah. As far as I know, they've got a few changing rooms there, yeah. Why change? Why not just have it under your clothes and then take off your clothes? Like, am I just missing something here? Like, they could just be ready and then take their clothes off when they get there. By the way, do we have 2 keys? Kevin inquires. Oh yeah, here, you can keep the second key in case you or CAINE want to go back earlier. I hand over the second key to Kevin. Let's see what we can bring with us and what we can leave behind. Sarah starts rummaging through her bag. Oh. Taking your camera with you? Asks Kevin after he sees Sarah take her camera bag. Of course, there's not many chances for me to go to the beach. Be prepared for a lot of candids. Kevin looks a little uncomfortable. I don't really like having my picture taken. I don't really either, but if there's one thing you should know about Sarah, I say ominously. Oh, don't be so dramatic, Valkii. Pictures are fun. I'll be sure to get your good side. She flashes him a sly grin, and you've got many good sides. Kevin turns beet red, looking away from Sarah and staring out the window instead. Eventually, we all take our turns going to the bathroom before departing towards the beach. Whew, bright. The sun, the sand, the sea! This is totally the place to be during summer. The beach is crowded with other people tanning in the sun, lying lazily on some towels or chairs. There seems to be a bunch of people in the water as well, which probably means the water isn't too cold to swim in. This is great. Sarah stretches out her arms, smiling towards the sun. Ah, feels good to be here. I know what you mean. It's been forever since I went to the beach, I respond. CAINE is looking grumpy as always, but Kevin looks especially energetic. I brought a beach ball with me. Let's go have fun in the water, he exclaims cheerfully. Let's find some cabins to change in, I point out. Sarah and I share a small cabin on the beach to change into our bikinis. I made my own, of course. I make everything myself, even swimwear. I have to showcase my talent to the world. You think you'll like mine? Sarah asks as she strikes a pose for me. Let's have a look. I like the design. I'm trying to decide whether the 2 O's are overkill. I'm not sure. Maybe just one would have been nice, but I really like the bottom one. She's wearing a sparkling white bikini, looking very chic. Kevin? I ask. Who else? The twerp? Sarah rolls her eyes at me. Of course I meant Kevin. You look great, I answer honestly. Now stop fussing about it and let's go enjoy ourselves. I step into my slippers and swing my bag across my shoulder, looking around for the guys. Oh, there they are. Sarah points at them in the distance. Seems they found a good spot, I say. We meet up with them and see they've secured 2 beach lounges for us, complete with a parasol. My eyes glide over towards CAINE, who's now only wearing swimming trunks and sitting on the lounger. He's very pale indeed, and skinny. I feel like I'm going blind staring at him while he's in the sun. Awesome, I didn't think there'd be any free chairs left, I say gleefully. Some family just left, so we immediately claimed it, Kevin says with a grin. I need to rub myself in with some sunscreen. Everyone does. I dig into my bag and take out the bottle. Alright everyone, lotion up. Sarah smacks Kevin's back, startling the poor guy instantly. What? He asks nervously, wondering if he's done something wrong. Do my back, yeah? Sarah asks, looking at him all sweetly. Kevin looks confused, but he doesn't seem to be able to reject Sarah's wishes. She can be quite the force to be reckoned with. Sure, yeah, he mumbles. Happy to have Kevin's hands all over her body, Sarah lies down on the lounger. Kevin seems to be blissfully unaware of her flirting. Don't know what I said because I accidentally pressed the button. That's what this thing does. It's fucking solid in some places. I sit down next to CAINE in the shade as I wait my turn. So, you know how to swim, right? I asked, trying to start a conversation. I know you said you could through text, but flirting doesn't exactly sound like swimming to me. CAINE whips his head around and crosses his arms. Of course I can. I'm not an incompetent loser. Good, I guess that's one worry out of the way. What about you, huh? If you're going to drown, I won't be saving your ass. Hey, who said I'm going to drown? I fire back. Just don't drag me down as well. I'm not going to drown. I'm a very good swimmer. We'll see about that. Perhaps you need an inflatable tube band to stay afloat? Oh, I actually brought one. A giant donut, Sarah pipes in. She's doing Kevin's back right now. Really cool. Let's blow it up then, says Kevin. He's smiling so much his teeth are reflecting the sun into my eyes. Yikes, I really could go blind like this. I guess he and Sarah are getting along just fine. Kevin and Sarah are finally done and they hand me the bottle of sunscreen as they start blowing up the donut that Sarah brought along. CAINE scratches his cheek. But seriously, just stick to me, okay? Huh? I turn around to look at him. If you're getting tired or you get a cramp, don't go too far. Wait, is CAINE actually a little worried? Didn't you just say you won't save my ass? CAINE grumbles something under his breath. He toes his slipper into the sand as he struggles to voice his thoughts. I've got all my swimming certificates, so yeah. Oh, all of them, I see, I say loudly, mocking him. Everyone gets to take a swimming test here when they're young to get their swimming certificate. However, people can opt to take harder tests for a higher certificate. So that means you're trained to save a drowning person, right? CAINE nods his head. Honestly, I'm quite surprised. I thought you said you could only stay afloat, so I figured you weren't such a good swimmer. Well, I am, so don't leave my side, okay? Otherwise I'm going to delegate you to donut duty. CAINE points at the inflatable donut that Kevin is blowing up. I snort out loud. Don't worry so much. I really can swim, you know. I've got my own swimming certificate, I point out. I won't tell him I got it when I was only 11 years old, though. CAINE just gives me this sly smile. We'll see. Oh right, I need to use the sunscreen already. I got a little distracted by CAINE. I stare at the bottle in my hand. I toss the bottle into CAINE's lap. Here, do me. Phrasing, I say. CAINE scrunches up his nose. Excuse me? Rub me. Phrasing. What? Don't be so difficult. It's hard to do your own back, you know. I shoo him off the lounger and lie down, grabbing my hair and moving it away from my neck. Except CAINE doesn't do anything. I'm simply lying here, waiting for him to start doing my back. I'm about to complain when I suddenly feel the cold sensation of lotion touching my back, quickly followed by CAINE's own warm hand. He rubs across my shoulder a little hesitantly, as if he's afraid to touch me. I roll my shoulders, relaxing as he continues to touch my back. It feels sticky, but it's not unpleasant, not at all. CAINE clears his throat. Your bikini's in the way. I shrug. Just lift it up and go under it. Silence. I grin to myself. He's too shy to do it, isn't he? But then, I can feel CAINE hook his finger under the strings and pull them away from my body. He slips his hand underneath it, trailing lotion across my back. Ah, I guess not that shy. He moves towards my side, sliding his hand down to my waist, then back up again. I feel slightly tingly as I realize just how close he is to my bare boobs. My heart starts to race. Stupid thing, quiet down, CAINE might hear. Who happens to be rubbing dangerously close to my boobs. Then he moves in even closer, his fingertips basically touching the sides of my breasts. A jolt shoots through my body and my cheeks burn with a blush. Hey, watch the hands, I call out to him. I am, he fires back. Unaware of what he did, CAINE continues like nothing happened. Great, it's just me whose heart is racing because he actually accidentally came a little too close to my forbidden zones. With both hands, he makes circles across my upper back, then rubs it in my shoulders. This actually feels quite pleasant, I'm really enjoying it. CAINE slows down his pace and massages my neck. Feels good. You'd probably be really good at massages, I say out loud. CAINE immediately pulls away from my back. Don't say weird shit like that. Why is it weird? I'm giving you a compliment. I don't need them from weirdos like you, and you're done. Happy now? I sigh and lift myself up from the lounger to face him. Thanks. I do the rest of my body myself. Before I can offer to do CAINE's back, he's already asked Kevin to do it for him. Aw, there goes my chance. When we're all rubbed in with sunscreen, the fun can start. Sarah looks at our beach bag with a worried expression. Okay, someone needs to watch our stuff, so let's go out in pairs. So now if you did this, if you did what I said earlier and you had your stuff on underneath your clothes, well, okay, you still have to take your clothes off. So I guess you don't want them to get stolen. Would people really steal clothes at the beach? I don't know. I don't really... You know, beaches are a myth in England. I'm just kidding, they're not. But I don't go to them. I propose to test out the donut, I say quickly. CAINE gives me this weird look, like he can't believe I'd actually like the inflatable tube. Sarah smiles and hooks her arm with Kevin's. Then we'll catch some sun while you two go swim for a bit. Besides, this way I can use my camera a little. It's like a puppy. Oh, okay, I guess I can wait a little bit longer, says Kevin with a sigh. CAINE begrudgingly gets up from the lounger and steps out into the sun. Alright, let's go, take that stupid thing with you. He doesn't have to say it twice, the donut looks adorable. I grab it and happily strut across the hot sand with it. CAINE just shakes his head as he removes his cap, flinging it on top of our bag. He then follows me into the ocean. My feet touch the cold water, and I haven't been to the beach in ages. The water looks so clear though. What are you waiting for? Afraid it'll bite? Yes. I do not like the ocean. I cannot play games with the ocean in them, or like water in them. For instance, Assassin's Creed, fuck, I can't remember what the Greek one is. Whatever. You know, you get a boat in that one. I guess you get a boat in some of the other ones as well. But you know, there are like sharks and shit in the water, right? I would just stand on top of the boat and like fire my arrow down at the sharks. I would mark them with the bird and then I would shoot them, and then I would take my headset off, dive into the water, get the treasure at the bottom, and then go back up and put my headset back on. Far Cry 3 as well. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too scary. It's like it just sets off something primal in me. I really like it gives me so much anxiety. Oh no, I was just thinking, when's the last time I came to the beach like this? Probably when I was little. I know it's a really common fear, by the way. I'm not like fucking special or something. CAINE starts walking further into the ocean until his knees are submerged completely. He's wincing a little. What's wrong? I ask. Cold balls, he wheezes. I can't help but snort out loud, then quickly hold a hand in front of my mouth to prevent myself from laughing. He meant that seriously, not as a joke. I then grin at him and start running into the water, splashing droplets all around us. Hey, watch it, it's cold. He's right, the water is a little colder than expected, but that's why I can have a little fun splashing CAINE. Throwing myself into the water completely, I float towards the top with my inflatable donut. It feels so good to be in the water again after so long. CAINE rushes up to me, we're both going deeper into the ocean. Your donut looks so stupid. God, you're just like, no fun allowed, CAINE. No fun allowed. You're just jealous, I quit back. I lean my chin onto the tube and grin at him. I'm not jealous, you look like a little kid that can't swim. I kick my feet underwater, swimming away from CAINE. Well, I'm going to enjoy this donut all by myself. You can't have it. I stick my tongue out at him. CAINE huffs and quickly dives underneath the water until I can't see him anymore. Before I can react, I feel a hard yank on my ankle, dragging me below the surface, slipping out of the tube. I hold my breath and shut my eyes as I'm engulfed in water. I try to swim towards the top again. Reaching the surface, I take in a big gasp of air. CAINE is smirking at me, now inside the tube himself. Droplets slide down his wet hair, glistening in the sun. You! I call out angrily at him. CAINE starts swimming away from me with the tube, further into the ocean, cackling loudly. Thief! I yell and then frantically try to catch up to him. A world-class one, he exclaims with a laugh. I can't help but laugh as well as I swim towards him. CAINE stops speeding away from me and I finally catch up, resting my hands on top of the donut. My feet dangle in the water. We're in deeper parts now. I splash some water onto CAINE's face. Hey, he growls at me. That's what you get for stealing my tube, I say with a grin. Salt in my eye? Really? CAINE starts rubbing his right eye. Oh, are you alright? I ask, suddenly a little worried. He was faking you out, man. Come on. But then CAINE splashes some water back into my unsuspecting face. Jerk, I complain as I brush my wet hair out of my eyes. Haha, come on, you can have it back. CAINE slips out of the tube, diving underneath the water, then pops back up and puts the donut around me as if he were throwing me a life ring. Can't have you drowning on me, he tilts his head to the side with a cocky grin. I lift myself up through the hole and lie down on the donut, sprawling my arms and legs on the outside so I float up on top of the water like a turtle. Then I'll just stay like this, no need to worry about getting your hands dirty and saving me, I reply. Good, this way you're at my mercy instead, he says sinisterly. Without giving me a chance to ask what he means by that, CAINE starts spinning the tube around with me helplessly going around in circles. I can't help but giggle loudly though, it's fun. I throw my head back and enjoy the ride. Eventually CAINE stops. Hey, why'd you stop? I ask, bummed out. You look like you were having too much fun, he replies nonchalantly. Oh, is that so? Are you saying I'm not allowed to have any fun? Remaining silent, CAINE hits the water with the palm of his hand, splashing some onto my face. I shield myself from the droplets while he smirks at me. Indignantly, I pout at him. Hey, no fair. I then rake my hand inside the water and throw a small wave towards CAINE, who eagerly tries to dodge it. It becomes a little splash fest between us as we keep trying to throw water over the other. Eventually, CAINE submerges most of his head beneath the water until I only see the floaty mass of his red hair. It bobs closer and closer to my tube until... Eek! I yelp out loud. I felt something touch my sides. CAINE, that little pest, he's trying to attack me from under the water. CAINE resurfaces again and takes a deep breath. His wet bangs almost touch his gorgeous eyes. There's a smug look on his face. He's enjoying himself. I'm momentarily distracted because damn, CAINE looks hot like this. Whereas I just feel like a stupid turtle. I can't let CAINE get the best of me, so I decide to attack him too. You asked for it, I yell triumphantly, then launch myself out of the tube right on top of CAINE. With a huge splash, I drag him down underneath the water, my hands pushing down on his shoulders. Is that possible? Until we're both floating in the ocean, serene and calm. My eyes are wide open, the water doesn't sting. Sunlight shimmers through the surface and is reflected on CAINE's body. CAINE's eyes are open too. He meets my gaze in this silent ocean. I do not want to open my eyes under the friggin' ocean. That's scary. A bubble escapes his mouth. Neither of us seem to pay any attention to it. His hair is so luscious and red, floating around beautifully. Then a hand is suddenly on top of mine. He gradually pries it off his shoulder until I've released him. I can hear my heart thump loudly in my ears. Slowly, his fingers slip through mine, intertwining them. The lack of oxygen makes my brain feel lightheaded. I need air soon, but I'm mesmerized by this underwater play between me and CAINE, like he's captivated me and I'm unable to move to swim to the surface. Yo, this is how pirates die. He's not a siren. You be the siren. CAINE grips my hand tightly and pulls me into his chest until I almost knock my head against his. Our noses touch, our lips are so close. I really need air. But I think I need this more. My eyes close, focusing on nothing but the closeness between me and CAINE. And then CAINE kicks his legs in the water, propelling us upwards. You tease. We break the surface and I take a large breath of air. I'm so lightheaded. Fluttery emotions wash over me like the water itself. I'm staring right into CAINE's face, but I realize I'm unable to look at him any longer. I was about to kiss him underwater. My cheeks feel aflame. Did you see that? CAINE asks, unaware of my fiery red face. See what? I croak out. Wait, he's still holding my hand. As soon as I realized he hasn't let go, CAINE tugs my hand and forces me to spin around in the water. The fish! CAINE dives underneath the water, giving a tiny pull on my hand, telling me to follow him. I follow suit, then open my eyes underwater again. And what I didn't see before when I was bewitched by CAINE's gorgeous eyes is the huge school of fish in the distance. Silver and shimmery, they swim in unison in a single direction. There's got to be about 200 of those tiny fish. It looks amazing. I've never seen that many. I can't help but smile back at him. Kiss or no kiss, I'm enjoying this. We hold hands together as we watch the school of fish swim away. The water is cold, but CAINE's hand isn't. Burn. Baby burn. Just because he's a redhead. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.